Do you want a no scrap template so easy you could probably make it before you've even had your morning coffee? Hi, I'm Jess from jesscrafts.com, and I want to help you make the most of your crafty supplies and time. So let's get started. Today I'm working with 6x8 paper busting no scrap template number 6, and that's off to the left there. It's made specifically for 6x8 paper. You might think, hey, I think I've seen this one before. It's because I do also have a 6x6 version. It's just one of those designs that works really well for both. And I wanted to share it in both sizes just because I know sometimes people will see one video and not the other because they're like, I have some 6x6 paper I want to use, and that's how they'll find the video and search it. Or vice versa, they'll want to find something for 6x8. So also, I think it's just a really great, simple design. So I want to make sure that you see it, and it works for 12x12 and 8x8. I probably won't make templates for those, especially 12x12, because most 12x12 papers are too large of a scale to cut down to these smaller sizes. It can work. It all depends on which particular paper you have. I'm going to cut some black cardstock mats. Those need to be 1/4 inch bigger, so they're 2 1/4. But these measurements are super simple because you're just cutting everything to 2x2 squares. So your 6x8 paper gets cut into, some quick math, 12 2x2 squares. And then you're going to take your black cardstock and just cut 2 1/4 by 2 1/4 mats. And that's why I say it's so easy you wouldn't even need coffee. But I do drink coffee, but I drink decaf. So I'm not necessarily a caffeine dependent person, although I have been in the past. It just makes me a little too jittery for my liking. So I had to give it up, but I love the taste of coffee. So let me know. Are you coffee drinkers? What do you think of decaf? I saw a funny joke this morning about how decaf only works if you throw it at someone, which I thought was funny because I'm a decaf drinker. Here I am going to assemble them all pretty quickly by just placing all of the back sides down and then running my glider over them. And that's how I usually tend to do these, where I make a bunch of cards at once, is I assemble all of the pieces. But I'm only making 3 of them right here because I've started reserving, when I'm making multiples, one of them to record an Instagram reel. I'm not super hip on all the different ways you're supposed to do social media, but Instagram reels are pretty fun. And I kind of just do the same thing I do here on YouTube, but just at like really, really lightning fast speeds with no voiceover. So if you've ever been like, hey, these card videos are a little long, I really could get this content faster, head over to Instagram. Check out the reels and you'll see the card made in like 30 seconds or sometimes less. I don't know, it has to be under 60 seconds, so it's super fast. But that's why I'm doing that. And I wanted to call the attention to, if you just find Instagram reels kind of fun, I'm doing that a lot over there. I'm at jess.crafts on Instagram. And I share cards over there that I don't share on Instagram that I don't share here on YouTube because I don't have to do voiceovers, and voiceovers take extra time. So sometimes if I just want to like share a fun idea or a pretty stamp I colored, I'll just make an Instagram reel instead. I'm going to assemble all of these. I do find it easier for this particular sketch. There's 2 squares that lay like on the back layer of the card. They're like flat against the card, and then one that gets popped over the other 2. So I'm just putting down those first 2 squares, and then I'm going to go and design my center focal point panel because that's kind of what I consider that middle panel there. If I haven't already mentioned it, the templates are over on my blog, jesscrafts.com. You can download the template and print it out so that you know exactly how to measure everything and cut it out. Not that it's super complicated this time, but you'll have the sketch there so you know what you're doing. I am using this Avery Elle's Sending Hugs stamp set. I've used it before. I'll link that video at the end for you actually because it is so cute and it's another no scrap template for you. I like this one because it has a lot of characters you can color in neutral colors. So like basically you can color them gray. And what's great about that is you don't have to have a lot of Copic colors or a lot of colors of whatever marker or medium you like. You can just have the grays and go from light to dark. And that's it. There's not as much thinking. There's not as like, oh, do I have the right orange shade for this particular kind of animal? There's so many animals that you can just color with grays. And so if you also kind of gear some of your stamp sets towards this is a good one. The fox would probably have to be colored. I colored him orange, but you could make him an Arctic fox. and he could be gray too. If you want to know how the other cards came out, the other different animals, those are over on the blog post. So there's a coordinating blog post, and you'll get to see how the other critters came out in case you're curious. I'm going to add a little bit of extra cardstock behind the left side here because that's going to be hanging over the other two panels. That'll just make everything nice and even. I thought maybe I could just leave it there, but as much as I always say, you don't have to add a sentiment, and I know that that's true, there's just a part of me that feels like cards are supposed to have sentiments, so I went in and I added a sentiment. I bought the coordinating dies for the stamp set, which I very rarely do, and it was because they had these little word dies that came with it. It says hugs, love, and something that I can't remember right now. And the dies themselves are grouped together, so you cut out all 4 letters at one time without having to finick with 4 little dies. But then the letters come out separate, and I'm not a big fan of like really finicky tiny things like that. So in hindsight, I mean, I have many other hugs dies that would be faster to use, but I do like that additional value that they put in the coordinating die set. And I think it is really cute. It's just, you know, a little bit more time consuming, especially because I'm the kind of person who feels like I need to double it up for extra oomph and dimension. And so that's what I did here. And I glued 2 little tiny H's together and 2 little tiny U's and blah, blah, blah until they were all ready for the sentiment. If you found this video inspiring, here's another video where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know you like this video with a share to your crafty community. Subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video.